to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright. Golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza #1. Trump Gaza shining bright. Golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza #1.
In Gaza's waterfront property, it could be very valuable to, if people would focus on kind of building up, livelihoods. You think about all the money that's gone into this tunnel network and into all the munitions. If that would have gone into education or innovation, what could have been done? And so I think that it's a little bit of an unfortunate situation there. But I think from Israel's perspective, I would do my best to move the people out and then clean it up. But I don't think that Israel has stated that they don't want the people to move back there afterward. The thing that I would try to do if I was Israel right now is I would just bulldoze something in the Negev. I would try to move people in there. I know that won't be the popular thing to do, but I think that that's a better option to do so that you can go in and finish the job.
Israeli lobbyists, Miriam and Sheldon Adelson, have given Trump well over $100 million. And according to Trump, they have been his best customers.
You know, Miriam and Sheldon would come into the White House probably almost more than anybody outside of people that work there. And they were always after, and as soon as I'd give them something, always for Israel. As soon as I'd give them something, they'd want something else. I'd say, give me a couple of weeks, will you please?
On the same week, it was announced that the government just saved $1 billion. $1 billion was sent to Israel. And President Trump's first guest to the White House was Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, wanted by the ICC for an ongoing genocide.
Would Palestinians have the right to return to Gaza if they left while the rebuilding was happening?
It would be my hope that we could do something really nice, really good, where they wouldn't want to return. Why would they want to return? The place has been hell. It's been one of the meanest, toughest places on earth. But you take certain areas and you build really good quality housing, like a beautiful town, like someplace where they can live and not die. Because Gaza is a guarantee that they're going to end up dying. The same thing's going to happen again. The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
You are talking tonight about the United States taking over a sovereign territory. What authority would allow you to do that? Are you talking about a permanent occupation there?
I do see a long-term ownership position, and I see it bringing great stability to that part of the Middle East and maybe the entire Middle East. And everybody I've spoken to, this was not a decision made lightly. Everybody I've spoken to loves the idea of the United States owning that piece of land.
When the president talks about cleaning it out, he talks about making it habitable, and this is a long-range plan. They've dug tunnels underneath there that have basically degraded the stone that you make that would form foundations. We have to examine that. You do it with borings. You do it with subterranean surveys.
How long could that take?
And this guy knows real estate. It's years on top of years. The disposal effort in Gaza is, we estimate, 3 to 5 years just to dispose of all the things before you can look down beneath the surface of the soil, and then before you get a master plan done. And the president is intent on getting it all done correctly. So to me, it is unfair to have explained to Palestinians that they might be back in 5 years. That's just preposterous.
And he's just taking a common sense approach.
I feel very differently about Gaza than a lot of people. I think they should get a good, fresh, beautiful piece of land, and we get some people to put up the money to build it and make it nice and make it habitable and enjoyable and make it a home.
They don't want to leave, though. Palestinians say they don't want to leave.
I don't know how they could want to stay. It's a demolition site. I envision a world, people living there, the world's people. I think you'll make that into an international unbelievable place. I think the potential in the Gaza Strip is unbelievable. And I don't want to be cute. I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad. This could be so magnificent. It's a small country in terms of land. See this pen, this wonderful pen? My desk is the Middle East. And this pen, the top of the pen, that's Israel. That's not good, right? You know, that's a pretty big difference. I use that as an analogy. It's pretty accurate, actually.
I've said this before. I'll say it again. You are the greatest friend Israel has ever had in the White House.
This is Zephaniah 3:8. Therefore, wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Kahala Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Kodash, which are the true Hebrew names of the Most High Father, Yahweh, which is Hebrew for He is, and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, which is Hebrew for He is salvation. Double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, with the house of David reborn again in this generation. And shalom to the 130 Yasharallah, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who before losing our true heritage, we were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about the video we just watched that basically goes over not only that AI generated video which Donald Trump shared himself on his social media page, showing Gaza reimagined with Trump being the golden idol, right? Just kind of like in Babylon, where you had the golden idol of King Nebuchadnezzar, built up so that way everybody could bow down to it. Now, besides that, you have little things like the golden balloons and the golden idols, but it was all there in the land of Israel, okay? And as you can see here, there's just a numerology showing that Trump's name lines up with Nebuchadnezzar. Now, Trump isn't Nebuchadnezzar. He doesn't come from the same family. He's an Edomite, right? The descendants of Esau. Now, that being said, Trump is actually the current king of the world, at least on the public stage, okay? He's king of Babylon the Great. And Babylon the Great is, for the most part, the de facto head kingdom here upon the face of the earth that belongs to these Edomites, the so-called Caucasian and Israeli races. Now, in this video, or the videos that I showed you, you had videos, for example, from Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law, also a small hatter, an Amalekite, whose family is big in real estate development. Now, he had been asked months ago, before it even came down to Trump saying that the U.S. was going to take over Gaza, he had come out and said that taking over Gaza and redeveloping it for general, use would be the best case scenario, and just find a place for the Palestinians would be the best option. Now, fast forward a few months, now that Trump is sitting in office, and now he's spouting the same Amalekite solutions to the Gaza problems. Now, biblically, us Negro, Latino, Native Americans, we don't have a dog in this fight. Neither of them, that being the Edomites, which are the Caucasian and Israelis, or the Arabs, who are the Ishmaelites, the descendants of Ishmael, who are both the rejected descendants of Abraham, are right now fighting over that land. And Esau is beating Ishmael. This is why you're now seeing these Edomites starting to become very proud as far as their role there in Israel, Jerusalem. In fact, they've actually even come out, like you just heard Trump saying, that they're going to basically take over it, right? Thinking like as if that's going to be a solution that the majority of the world's going to follow, and it's definitely not. You've already heard many of the Arab nations come out and say that they're not down with Trump's idea. Okay, even Jordan, Jordan and Egypt, which are in Israel's back pocket, said that they wouldn't allow it. Okay, so that's showing that there's a lot of disconnect in the powers that be's, decision making there over there in the Levant, right? A lot of people are getting stirred up, and why is this happening? Well, to fulfill prophecy, the prophecy that I just read, that the Lord is going to agitate the world players so that way he could bring all the armies, all the nations of the world down there into the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Now, the Valley of Jehoshaphat, for the most part, is there in the land of Israel. And what we just watched is these Edomites blatantly try to take a move and claim the land of Israel for themselves. Now, where is that in the Bible? Well, if you go to Ezekiel 36:5, you'll read exactly this. Now, we're going to read it in the GNT, the Good News Translation, because this is an even more distinct and precise translation of this scripture to make it very plain what's happening. Right? This is the future prophecy of what these Edomites would be doing in the end times. Okay, so this is another nail in the coffin, so that we know that the so-called Caucasians and Israelis are the Edomites the Bible are speaking about. This is Ezekiel 36:5. I, the sovereign Lord, have spoken out in the heat of my anger against the surrounding nations, and especially against Edom. With glee and contempt they captured my land and took possession of its pastures. You see that? So this is a future prophecy which has now come to pass. Okay? When we keep telling everybody that the Bible is literally being fulfilled in front of our eyes, prophecy is literally coming to play. And this is one of the prophecies that is happening. Right? And really this kind of started all the way back since World War I when the Allied forces, namely Britain, had taken over Israel from the Ottoman Empire, the so-called Arabs in power at the time, right? Well, Esau's been in semi quasi control over Israel, and then after World War II, he made a big push to push Amalek into that land, and since Amalek has gotten into that land, claiming that he's the chosen people, there's been a war on day one, and there's been nothing but chaos since then. And what we're now seeing right now is Esau pulling a Hail Mary pass and trying to claim it all for himself. Now, I don't know if you all have heard, but besides Gaza, for the most part, being annexed by the U.S., now you have Israel starting to attack and tear up the roads there on the West Bank. Because again, why? Well, because they are going for the end zone. They are going to try to claim all the land there in what's known as the Greater Israel Project, right? Which is why you've seen them attacking the southern portions of Lebanon. You've seen them capturing the southern parts of Syria after Syria collapsed. You're seeing them continue to attack Gaza and now making inroads into the West Bank. You see, Esau, he knows that he's at the end. He knows that his time is coming to its crescendo, which is why he's trying the most to fulfill his agenda. And what is that agenda? Well, world dominance and ultimately conquering the Lord's own land. Now, this is also something that in the Bible tells us these Edomites would do in the end times. Here in Daniel, it tells you, let's actually, the point is in 35, but let's actually start at 42. This is basically talking about the fifth beast, basically these Edomites and their state of power, what they're going to do. This is Daniel's 11 and 42. He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape, but he shall have power over the treasures of gold and of silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt. And the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy and utterly make away many. And he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas in the glorious holy mountain. Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. So you see, these Edomites are going to do the most. They're going to bring forward a lot of power and dominance over the world. So much so, like it tells you, like at this time, Egypt, which was a great power in this time of Daniel, they were even going to be in subjugation to these Edomites in this end time when Daniel was seeing this vision. Right? He's seen that they were going to basically control the world markets through their money, that even the Libyans and the Ethiopians were going to basically be there at his beck and call. And that is how America is treated around the world. Though a lot of people don't like America, all these nations fight to be part, or should I say partners or allies with America because of the financial incentives. Well, what's going to eventually end up happening? Well, like it tells you here, tidings out of the east and the north, which basically, what's this, right? What tidings are coming from the east? Well, the conversations you're hearing about Ukraine, China, Iran, all these countries there in the east, right, are making America very upset, and now thinking that they're going to have to go over there and fight. What did Trump tell Zelensky? Right, that he's gambling with World War III. Okay, and that's where America's mind is right now. And that being said, that's going to cause him to do what? And when I say him, I'm talking about these Edomites, the Caucasian and Israeli. It says they shall trouble him, meaning that America and the NATO allied powers are going to be worried about their stronghold. And what are they going to do? Therefore shall they go forth with great fury to destroy. Okay, so we're coming up to a great battle, which is going to start to happen between the Americans, NATO, and along with the other BRICS allied countries. Okay, this is why you're seeing all this talk right now where Trump is trying to control things. He's trying to put Zelensky on a leash. But that ain't going to work. Because, why? Well, because it tells you here, this is what's going to be fulfilled, right? That they're going to eventually plant their palace, there in the Holy Land, right? In the Holy Mountain. And where is America? Where have these Edomites planted their capital? Look, remember, Trump in his last administration moved the military base there to Jerusalem, along with moving the capital for the Amalekites country from Tel Aviv there to Jerusalem as well, right there on the Holy Mountain. Okay, so they're already fulfilling this prophecy. So again, this is another prophecy being fulfilled. And what does it say it's going to end up happening to them? Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall happen. Because you see, these are the last throws. These are the last actions that the Edomite Empire is doing, from them fighting against themselves to basically trying to wage war with everybody at the same time, from trying to come out and depopulate the world. These are the last parts, or the last actions that these devils are going to be taking. This is Ezekiel 36:2. Thus saith Yahweh Bashim Hashai power, because the enemy hath said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. So again, it makes it very clear that in the end times, that the land of Israel, right, the holy land of the Israelites, which was given to them by God, because that's God's land, right, his holy land, that land was going to be stolen and taken into possession by the Antichrist of the Bible. The Antichrist being the Edomites, the so-called Caucasian and Israeli races. Okay, And this is what we're seeing them do right now, right? So, though there's a lot of pushback and a lot of people upset that U.S. says that they're going to take over the land of Gaza, it's the only solution that Esau has given the world. There's no other solution that these devils are willing to put on the table. Now, yes, they could allow the Palestinians to come back in. They could allow trades and resources to get pushed, go back into that land. But that ain't never going to happen. Not under Esau's watch. Esau wants that land, and he's going to kill thousands upon thousands of Ishmaelites to do it if he has to. This is Revelations 20:7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And this is ultimately where we're at right now, Akim. Satan has been let loose out of his 1,000 years of captivity. Remember, these Edomites, when they got taken out of power, when they had ruled Rome, they've ultimately fled up to the Caucasus Mountains where they stayed for 1,000 years. Okay? And when they came out of the Caucasus Mountain, they were known as the Caucasians. They no longer were known as the Edomites, the Idumeans, right? The Romans. They were simply just known as the Caucasians or the wild men, right? And the thing is what did they go? What did they come out of the mountains to do? Right? Well, it tells you. It says, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. And what is he going to do? And shall go out to deceive the nations. And that's what's going on right now. These devils, these Edomite, are now working their agenda and deceiving the entire world to make them believe that they over there in the land of Israel are the biblical Israelites, that they are the people who are the good guys in the world, and they're the ones trying to fix everything. See, that's the big, grand deception that these Edomites are pushing. But again, we all know that the world eventually wisens up. The Lord will eventually reveal these devils on a broad scale, and the world's going to turn against these devils, like what they're starting to see happening right now. So either way, I wanted to share this, Akim, because I thought it was a very important bit of prophecy coming to pass, how Edom has taken the land of Israel and is starting to claim it for themselves. So with all that, let's give all honor and glory and praises to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem Ruach HaKodesh. Shalom.